Hello, this is Wayne Rivers at the Family Business Institute. I want to talk to you this week about a book that came out just last week, Mistakes Millionaires Make by Harry Clark. Because I'm a powerful and influential member of the family business community around the world, Harry sent me an advance copy, and it's really not like any other book that I've read. So, most of the business books that you get are how to. I made 10 million bucks and this is how I did it, now you can too. Or good to great based on research and into great companies and what makes them unique. What happened to Harry was that he had started and built a couple of Inc. 500 businesses, sales well over $100 million, and really just riding the rocket ship of success. And then various things happened and the wheels fell off, and Harry lost everything. And he wasn't feeling too good about that, as you can imagine. And so he looked around the country and he said, golly, I'm probably not the only entrepreneur that's had this kind of a setback. So he went out and he found a bunch of other entrepreneurs through YPO, Young Presidents Organization. Now I think it's called WPO. But anyway, he interviewed 30 other guys who had had just stratospheric success and then plummeted back to earth through a combination of poor decisions or growth that was too rapid or the Great Recession or any number of other factors. So it's really a not how-to book, if that makes sense. Don't do these things, and these are the lessons I learned both on the way up, but more importantly on the way down. So one of the ways to gain wisdom is to learn what to do in life. But it's just as important, if not more important, to know what not to do in the context of a family business, or in your personal life for that matter. So 3 things I want to touch on real quickly. It's a terrific book and I think you should get it. I'm sure it's on Amazon and all the other basic outlets. But the first thing that Harry emphasizes is really stop and think about what you're doing and why you're doing what you're doing. One of the most important things, and this was a real shocker to me, he said he was attending a workshop at MIT, and part of this semester-long workshop they would bring in CEOs and successful people from other companies around the world. And these guys had a consistent message, and that message was, and get this now, half of all the decisions that you make in business are going to be wrong. And they stood by this and gave example after example after example. And really, boy, that set me back. I said, no way that's true. And I started thinking, well, yeah, that's probably true, really. And I think for us in small business and the clients that we deal with at the Family Business Institute, most of our decisions that are wrong, that really cost us, end up being people decisions. So I think people decisions, we just don't have the depth that a Fortune 500 company has. And we make decisions differently as entrepreneurs than big companies do. But in any respect, big company or small, half of all your decisions are going to be wrong. So the lesson learned is figure out what issues could kill you. What issues could wipe out your business, could just wipe out half of your customers or half of your revenue, and focus on those things so that they don't kill you. In other words, figure out exactly where your stress points are and put your attention on those for a period of time so that you come out smelling like a rose. And if you avoid death, by gosh, by default, you enjoy life, okay? The second one is risk management. And in every story virtually in the book, guys made huge fortunes. Harry was worth well over $25 million at one time, and other guys worth a whole lot more. And they lost it all. And guys were finding canned food in their basement to survive and feed themselves. Almost all of them lost their marriages as a part of their descent. So he talks a lot about risk management, and we don't think about that. We're riding the rocket ship of success, and if you're like me at the Family Business Institute, it takes 28 years to be an overnight success. But at some point you hit your stride and you start doing really well, and you feel really good about it. You get bullish and confident, and really you think you're kind of bulletproof. But they talk about how important it is to diversify your net worth. Take money out of your company. Don't reinvest every single dollar back in. Build up an alternative net worth on the side. engage in some risk avoidance and risk management practices. One of the things that I'm doing, for example, is I'm talking to my financial advisor about how do we do asset protection. It's a deep but narrow field, and I don't really know much about it. So how do we do asset protection so that if the worst happens, we at least have a little left behind so that my wife and kids and I can still buy groceries. And then the other thing he talks about is protecting the family. And I don't know how you do that, really. In fact, he doesn't give much instruction on that. But all of the people in the book just about lost their marriages, and some even their children, their relationships with their kids. And so part of the ups and downs of being an entrepreneur, we tend to focus mostly on our businesses, and we don't focus sufficiently on our families. So having family time, carving out time away from the business, family travel, those kinds of things are really important. He also talks about the importance of peer groups. We don't have boards of directors like Fortune 500 companies. So often we're not getting challenged in our decision making. This gets back to half of all decisions are wrong. One of the best things that you can do is find a peer group to join. So there are other risk-taking entrepreneurs in your group, and they can help you on the areas of decision making, risk avoidance and management, and those kinds of things. But peer groups are really important to everybody in this book. The third key thing is really not so much a how-to, but really almost a poetic summation of what you need to be happy in life. And there's a Spanish entrepreneur in the book that had just amazing successes and colossal failures, really an up and down kind of a guy. But he said one thing that really struck me. It was among the simplest but most profound things I've ever heard. And he said, really to be happy in life, you really need only three things. You need something to do, someone to love, and something to hope for. Really three very basic things: something to do, someone to love, and something to hope for. And for people that are exiting their businesses or contemplating selling their businesses, you run a big risk there of not having something to do, and potentially not having something to hope for, something that really gets you jazzed up. So that's one of the reasons that senior generation family business leaders don't want to leave the businesses. They know instinctively they need something to do, and they need something to hope for. Now, you don't have to get those things from your business. You could get those things through work with the Salvation Army or any number of other things. You could even start another business. But those three things are key, I think: something to do, someone to love, and something to hope for. All right, so great book by Harry Clark, Mistakes Millionaires Make. I hope you'll pick it up. You'll get something from it, as I did, and lessons learned. This is Wayne Rivers at the Family Business Institute. Thank you.